I loves me some 1 degree of Chunky B.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel then includes actress Lady Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question? So, so we were talking to Andy because you came in, and we were like, man, you got to check out Cousin Alex.
Yeah, the kid can cut.
And you were cutting great. You were following the show and everything like that. And then last show, I watched Andy's show. Oh, my God. He didn't skip a syllable.
Oh, no, he was all on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we threatened him with his job for you.
Yeah, we scared the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, you just dropped into the middle of a conversation. This is 1 degree of Chunky B. Let it all out. Let it all out. You're coming in the garage of love right now. Feel it. Breathe it. Be it. I'm in an extremely good mood today with a little pockets of what the fuck is going on type of situation. And we're going to break that down for you. But we're not going to say another thing until we present to you the executive producer of Love. Give it up for Gary Adler.
Thanks, Chunk. Thank you, Chunky. I'm going to applaud myself tonight.
Yeah, what's going on today? Why is there... Well, I know you got some crazy energy, and we're going to bust it down.
Yeah.
And people right now, make sure you do not walk away, turn a channel, or tune out. This is Chunky and Gary just breaking down the day-to-day operations. A lesser man would crumble, but we're in a garage of love. And Gary Adler has gone through some crazy, mind-changing, game-changing situations within the last, week.
Yeah.
So you want to stick around for that. And you caught us talking to Cousin Alex taking Andy Davies' spot. Give it up for Cousin Alex.
Yeah. And let's go, 3 degrees of Travis Spencer and give it up for Travis.
Hey, listen, everyone's always like, why do you guys always say something to Travis?
Yeah.
Because I want to let you know, Travis was the springboard. He was the foundation that started this whole thing, this corporation we call One Degree of Chunky B. And Travis, we love you. A little squeeze to the Wizard of the Knobs. We miss you dearly, and what you do for us and society, you can't put a number or a letter on it. It's
Yeah, and let's give it up for the Manimal.
The Manimal who's out there
in Arizona with his kids and family,
fighting a good fight on a family vacation. Griswolds take over Arizona,
full Griswold style. I saw the photos.
Best of luck to you, Andy. If you don't come back, I know you're chopped up by your kids and a little something. You guys, I'm in a mood to let you know how grateful I am for the way the ball is rolling. Super friends, you know who you are. Karen, Don, something, Mary Kay.
Yeah.
These are, beyond fans.
Bart.
Yeah, that's the cat, all right? We're not going that deep. But all you people that tune in and say nice things to us, and all you fans from Tony Dennison, from TNT's Major Crimes.
They came.
Did you hear what a little
the Twitter handles blew up.
Some of these ladies have said, Chunky, you are the best interviewer. You and Gary know how to put on a show.
They didn't really say me.
Yes, they did. You look it up on YouTube.
Really?
Yep. Oh, I can't remember the
I
girls.
love that YouTubes, Alex.
Mm-hmm. Can't do it without the tubes. 2 of them. YouTube.
Hey, and we got the guy on the couch.
Guy on the couch. He's just a guy on the couch. We'll explain more about the guy on the couch.
Yeah, listen, we don't want to get into it, really.
We
actually. You know
accidentally...
what? Move your shoulder that way so they can see the guy on the couch.
Oh, yeah, he's got to be on.
No, keep going, Chunk. You move. Just scoot. Go like that. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. All right. We'll just say he's a good friend.
And a fine citizen.
To the show. A great friend of the show.
He's a great friend of the show.
Yeah.
Funny guy and a great supporter. He's a beyond a super fan.
He said, look, I want to be on. We don't know where we flew him in.
Right.
And there he is.
Okay, guys, check it out. Gary's on the couch. Oh, we weren't supposed to say his name. But anyway, listen to me. Hey, Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't know who you are, but I'm really starting to dig you.
I'm rooting for him.
did you hear what's happening?
Yeah.
We're on WKRP in Raleigh,
It's crazy times.
and we're getting feedback from the kind people in that beautiful community. And you know what I say we do? We start putting out in the universe and to Raleigh that you and I within the next year are going to go do a personal appearance.
Yeah, maybe we'll be the grand marshal in the next parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put together like a WKRP. Check this out, Mardi Gras parade. We'll have like one
how
float.
about 4th of July we go down there and we're the WKRP. We'll ride in the Cadillac in the back. We'll just hang out in the back
That is
seat.
a great idea. How about no. We reenact a promotional storyline that was on WKRP.
That's not
We'll
a
get the
bad
weather
idea.
guy to throw turkeys out the helicopter because he thought they could fly. Remember that episode?
No.
All right. Well, listen, guys, if you're just tuning in, we're just going to talk about some serious situations in our life, but we're in a very good mood.
Yeah.
And
It all
we're gonna
ends positively.
Yeah. Here's what's happening, folks. We had a professional football player on our show.
Mr. Heath Evans.
He's Mr. Heath Evans. I believe he's episode 83.
Mm-hmm.
He played for the Patriots. He played for Seattle and the Saints.
Yeah.
And a minute for Miami.
And what a great clip you put on our website. That's chunkyb.tv.
Oh, look at you sliding in that. 1 degree of Chunky B. Go, guys, check this out. Go to chunkyb.tv and check out the goofy ass videos and see some of the stupid things that we have done.
Yeah, but no, they're fun. You do
They're
good
great.
promos. Chunky does the promos himself on his iPhone.
Yes, it's all on the
Yeah,
phone.
it's an old Kyocera that he got.
And check this out.
Remember those?
So Heath was on the show, and we talked about injuries and what his philosophy about kids playing football. And my opinion was incorrect in his eyes. He thought it was not a good idea to have the kids start in such a late age.
Yeah, he said you have
Ninth
to
grade.
You have to attrition. You have to get used to the hits and all that stuff.
Right. So if you have a kid and you're like, I'm not going to let my kid play until he's a freshman in high school, his first year, he's not used to getting his bell rung. It could do more damage than good.
Perhaps, unless you got a beast like your son.
My son has experience with the lacrosse field, which
Right.
is a lot of hitting
Yeah,
if you do
yeah,
it
yeah.
right. So he comes off the field. My son comes off the field, either playing football or lacrosse.
Yeah.
Aches and pains.
Right.
Aches and pains that I have to give him back massages. And I was promised as a young kid, my dad, when I rubbed his back every single day when he came back from a tough day in the office as an FBI agent, he would sit on the couch and I would get on top of him and give him the best back massage I could because I was competitive, because I wanted to beat my brother and sister in the competition. So I was suckered into doing it every night.
I'm just going to say your father was a very smart man.
Right, but check this out. He always promised me that, when you have a son, he'll do you. Wrong.
No.
I'm cracking his
Too
back.
much back hair.
Yeah.
We have too much back hair, Chunk. Our
It's getting
kids
that
don't
time
want
of
to mess
year.
with that.
It must be really exciting times
Yeah,
of
the
year.
family is starting to get excited.
Because
it's,
I don't know if you know this, cousin Alex. This is the time of year that the family gets together and gets to shave Gary's back.
that's right. It's a whole
Yeah,
thing we
it's a
do.
waxing
We
or a-
take an entire Sunday.
Entire day, so it's a perfect day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday fun.
I remember last year
we read the funnies and then we get to it.
Yeah.
I lay down on top of them and my
Yeah.
wife gets the shearing units out.
I saw your son West last year on the beach, and I go, "What are you smiling about?" Because 2 more days we get the wax daddy's
Yeah.
back.
It's everyone always looks
You
forward
should make
to
that a
this.
fundraiser community
We
event.
have the what are those calendars called for Christmas?
Advent calendar.
Yeah, we have one of those, an advent calendar.
A little gift.
It's the big countdown. There's like a hair, then there's a couple hairs, there's a little fuzz, and then
like
all
a
of
gray
sudden,
one. If you get the gray one,
Yeah.
special treats for everyone.
But the injury thing and the concussion thing,
Everybody gets hurt.
yeah. And I want to tell everybody
Did
at
you
home,
get hurt when you were a kid?
I got hurt. Can I tell you my most
Yeah, go
embarrassing
ahead.
injury?
Let me hear it.
I was a fairly decent athlete, but all my friends were better. So something. My averageness was maybe with this complete competition in Cincinnati, Ohio, Anderson High School in Cincinnati, great school for sports and a great school all around. I barely got by. I was the second string goalie. I got cut from the tennis team. I got cut from the high school tennis team. Then I was a walk-on in my little college, and I made the team in college. That's how, that's how
But
shitty
the
our
high
schools-
school cut you.
Right. I didn't make the baseball team, but all my friends were.
Okay, so
So anyway,
you were wallowing in mediocrity. That's what you're telling me.
right. I'm the best average guy you're ever gonna
Yes,
meet.
you are.
I'm the mentor to the mediocre.
Your dad said always come in second.
Yeah, no one tries to knock second off the podium. If you're first, fuck you, I'm going to get you. No one's, second, I'm going to get you next year. I want to come in second. You own second. Second is mine.
Hey, Alex, if you're in a race and you pass the guy in second place, what place are you in?
If you pass him, hold on. Wait a minute. Is it first?
Second.
Yeah,
You're
you're
in
second.
second.
If you pass the guy in second.
You're still in second. There's still a guy in first.
Oh,
You didn't
Lord, have
pass
mercy.
him.
Oh, okay.
There you go. All right, here we go. Sorry, Chunk.
Okay. Travis, you're not alone. So anyway, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking about the injury.
Yeah, give us
my
the scenario.
injury.
Give us the
Okay.
scenario.
My best buddy, growing up, Tom Brenneman, voice of the Cincinnati Reds right now. His mom, Brenda Brenneman, God bless her, greatest woman. She was like the mom that all the kids wanted to be around. So,
She had the good snacks.
and she was a coach for a while of girls soccer. So we went in support of the girls soccer team that she was coaching.
Smart.
But the girls had something going on, and a lot of girls didn't show up, so they made it a practice game, a scrimmage with the
Okay.
other team because they didn't have enough. They were like, "Hey, Chunky, come on in."
Be the
I
goalie?
played. No, I was playing like left wing.
Okay.
I was running, and I slid for the ball.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't get up. An injury like no other painful injury, and I couldn't act like a baby in front of the girls. So I just laid there, and they were like, "Come on, get up, come on!" The balls like going over me, people running around me.
Yeah.
Couldn't get up, and I pulled a muscle that pulled a fracture in my hip. It was no cast, and I was only in crutches for like less than a week, but at that particular time, it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And I was with 16-year-old girls, and I couldn't act like but it hurt so bad. You know what they had to do? Drive a car. They didn't even wait for an ambulance. They drove a car over the hill and around the backstop and over to the soccer field. They picked me up on the field. So it turned out to be extremely embarrassing.
But what was the outcome? Like,
I just fractured my hip.
oh, you fractured your hip.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a severe injury.
Right. I know. It was painful. But that wasn't even the worst. And I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version. Soccer outside of Boston, way outside of Boston.
Soccer's a dangerous sport.
Dean College, right? I, running down the sideline, make a move. A guy elbows me, 3 places in my nose broken.
Oh.
Right? So they make this cast. I'm playing in a cast, a face cast. The next game, boom,
Boom.
stitches in my chin.
In your chin.
Yeah. So
I
I
can
walked
see
ar-
the scars still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I walked around with stitches on my chin and a
You were the
plastic-
fucking the Elephant Man.
It was nasty. There's still photos of it. Listen, that's enough about me. I know you were quite the. Oh, wait a second, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know this, Gary Adler is. He's got a title to your name. A very rare person has been in Sports Illustrated twice.
That is correct.
Break that down.
No, that's not what we're talking about. I think I've broken that down before. I was in Sports Illustrated when I was 8 years old. It was for an unassisted triple play. I ended up in Faces in the Crowd.
Awesome.
It was kind of a cool thing that happened, and one of the moms called Sports Illustrated, and the next thing you know, like, this representative from Sports Illustrated was handing me a giant trophy in front of the whole school.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
it was
Did you
really,
get laid?
it was cool, man.
Did you get some? A lot of women?
Hell no, dude.
How old were you?
8.
You were putting out by then, right? Yeah. You were an advanced kid.
No, I was not an advanced kid. I wasn't like you. Chunky had a beard when he was 8.
I did. I grew facial hair like in the womb. I came out of my mom's belly needing a trim. Yeah.
You had a winter bush when you were born.
Yeah. When I was a kid, when I was a toddler, my ass was so hairy. My mom used to comb my ass hairs on the side so you couldn't even see the crack.
Nice.
Comb over. I had a comb over on my ass as a kid.
I will say this. My most recent injury, speaking of injuries, was when I hit the pier. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I was surfing, went under the pier, and I've done it 100 times.
Yep.
And I didn't time it right, or the wave changed or something, but my foot hit the piling, and 26 stitches later.
And a lot of people don't realize that, especially if you don't have a beach or a pier near you. What's all around the
It's just
pillar?
all
Shells. It's all mussels
it's
and
all
shit.
mussels and
Razor
oysters and
blades.
stuff. Yeah, razor
Razor
blades.
blades.
That's exactly right.
I went under the pier accidentally years ago on a freaking boogie board.
Ooh.
The tide was going. I was on the south side of the pier. Tide was going north. I caught this wave on a stupid, and it's embarrassing to say, a rental. I rented a boogie board.
That is embarrassing.
That is so embarrassing. So anyway, the wave crashed me down. I lost my breath. It sucked me out, and it took me.
Not our pier.
Yes.
Oh, that's really embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm renting a boogie board in Venice Beach, California.
Did it have a little shark on it or something?
I think it was a palm tree and a rainbow.
Oh, a narwhal.
Yeah. So I'm getting to the pier. I'm seeing the pillars. I'm seeing the razor blades like wrapped around the posts.
Yeah.
I was smart enough to take the boogie board, put it between me and the pier. When I smashed the pillar and I heard the shatter of shells, I'm like, that could have been my back.
And was the boogie board messed up?
The boogie board, no, a couple scratches.
Oh,
They didn't take anything off the rental.
Oh, nice.
They didn't add on. Yeah, it was a
Good for
beautiful
you.
return. And the yellow trucks pulled up to the beach.
Oh, come on.
Yes. The yellow trucks, the lifeguards.
That's embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, especially I'm on a rental.
Did Hasselhoff save your ass?
No,
That would
but
have been cool.
I got a blowjob from Pamela Lee.
Did you?
I don't know where that came from.
That would have been cool.
She was on the show, right?
Yeah, she was.
Right. So anyway, I was a fairly decent swimmer. I swam down. I got out of the water, and the lifeguard was like, "Oh my God, thank God! I saw you going to the pier." And da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, chunky.
Yeah, so that's basically. I broke my jaw. I fell off a roof. That was an injury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
what else?
sliced myself in many places.
Yeah, but nothing really.
Couple of knee injuries.
Second grade, my appendix bursted.
Motorcycle accident, 3 fractured vertebrae.
No way, really?
Yeah.
I've never driven a motorcycle.
That was rough. It was one of the first and last times I ever did.
Right.
Yeah.
You get a whole new respect for those fuckers thing.
Yeah, that's gonna stay out of the Adler DNA.
Yeah, something, and we're talking about motorcycles, and then if motorcycles have 2 more wheels, they're quads.
That's
And I think
true.
it's safe to say it's a safe time to walk into this conversation.
All right.
And ladies and gentlemen,
I'm ready for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the life that is Gary Adler.
Oh, you're just gonna hand it over to
Go
me?
break it down. But I'm gonna be popping questions
Okay.
as we go.
So spring break last week, we were going down to Baja for a surf trip. It was me, 2 other dads, and a bunch of teenagers from Venice. They all surfed together. They all great friends of varying ages, from 17 to 11.
Right.
So we get there Sunday. Surf's amazing. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday morning.
You got a place on the beach? You walking?
Yeah. No, we got a place right there.
Nice.
Right above the break. And the kids are having a ball and they're surfing. And so Tuesday afternoon, the waves kind of turn off because the wind comes up. And the boys decide we want to go riding quads on the dunes, which is about 2 kilometers south of where we're staying.
Kilometers.
2 clicks.
That's what
2 clicks.
that's what you say in Mexico.
Right, I got you.
If you know Baja, everything is by kilometers.
Mhm.
So we're at kilometer 42 and the dunes are like 44. Close by. And a couple of the kids were like, "Yeah, we went last year. It was super fun, and it's cheap. Let's go do it." So
And it looks
every
awesome.
bone in my body said, "Let's not do this." But because everyone else was doing it, I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll go down there. I'll shoot. We'll be part of the movie we're making. Blah blah blah." So, because a bunch of good surfers in the group, so I was making a little documentary.
Perfect.
And so we go down there. The boys get on their quads. Beck's got a helmet. The other little guy's got a helmet. The other boys aren't wearing helmets. And I guess it's about 2 o'clock maybe. Or 1 o'clock. I don't know. Anyway, they take off. And I walked like 200 yards towards the ocean so I can get a better view with the video camera.
And you chose not to be on the ATV.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ride.
Okay.
It doesn't thrill me. I don't care about
Right,
it. It's
right.
not my thing. So one of the other dads was on a quad, and he was riding around with the kids, and they were all having a good time. And I was shooting, and I was getting some good shots. And then all of a sudden, I see my older son come screaming at me at the camera, and I'm like, oh, cool, he's going to do a donut. He wants to get on camera. This will be fun. But I see terror in his eyes, you know, and he's yelling at the top of his lungs, Beck is really hurt. Dada, Beck is really hurt. He's yelling at me. I'm probably going to get emotional when I'm telling you this story.
Me too.
So I go, oh, fuck. So the next thing I see is Beck screaming back on his quad, frothing at the mouth and crying his eyes out. But I noticed there's no seat when the helmet's not there. So I'm like, all right, well, he's riding the thing back. He can't be hurt that bad. So I run over to him, and he's like, my leg, my leg, my leg. So I go around the other side, and I just see blood and shredded pants just dripping all over the quad where his leg is. And I can just see, a little bit of his wound, and it's just muscle and
So
bone.
you don't have eye contact with the wound because the pants are still...
Not completely.
Right.
I'm seeing about an eighth of it. Or
Okay.
a quarter of
right,
it.
a
maybe.
smidgen of what's the
smidgen of it.
situation.
So I grab him. I put him. My buddy's got his quad. I put him on the back. Although, first of all, I fucking fell. Okay. So imagine. Anyway, I put him on the back of my buddy's bike. He hauls ass towards the car.
Wait a minute, I'm going to cut you off, but you fell. The reason you said it was he in your arms?
Yeah.
So you were holding back.
I grabbed him off of his quad and was going to bring him onto my buddy's quad, but it's the sand dunes.
Right.
We toppled. I grabbed him. I put him on the
You
back.
dropped your bleeding son.
Yeah. So we head over to the car, and we get him. I open the trunk bed of my car, and we get him in the back. They give him a pillow to put his head on, and I take my belt off and I wrap a tourniquet around his knee. And I don't know if that's the right thing or the wrong thing to do, but I did it anyway.
Okay, have you gotten?
Not completely.
So you're not even sure of the wound.
I'm looking at him, just trying to keep him calm at this point.
And you applying
One
a
of
tourniquet.
the guys who worked there spoke really good English, and he came up, and he was helping quite a bit. And then they called the ambulance from the Rosarita Hospital, which is 6 kilometers north. Okay. And that ambulance got there in about 7 minutes.
Impressive.
Okay. Now, in between that time, I fainted. Like, not for a long time, for about a second.
Because of
I'm
the
looking
okay.
at my son, and by this time I had gotten a better glimpse of what the fuck was going on, and it wasn't good. And so I was holding his hand and looking at him, and telling him everything was going to be cool, even though I didn't know if it was going to be cool.
Right.
And then I was like, oh fuck, I'm going down. Like I've fainted before. I don't know if you've fainted before, but you get that
I've gotten lightheaded.
that weird feeling, So I said, look, I'm going to lay down for a second, but I'll be right back. Right? I said it to Beck. And then Westy came over, my older son. So I laid my head down for a second. And as soon as my head hit, I popped back up, and I hear Wes going, he's back.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh, you're skipping.
No, I haven't skipped anything.
Yes, you are.
Okay, go
And
ahead.
I'm gonna. And the reason why I'm going to stop this because there are some facts or some tidbits that I want to hear so I can even visualize this craziness even more clear. You have not told us the first initial thought when you saw the full injury.
Yeah, I didn't. Beck kept asking me if he was going to lose his leg, and I remember just thinking, just say he's not. You know what I
But
mean?
you not knowing that.
Yeah, and because I just said I said you're going to be fine. It's all
Right.
good.
I think
I kept saying don't look at it, dude.
I think what I'm looking to hear from you is you rolled up the.
That's coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you. Okay, I'm up to.
Hasn't quite happened yet.
Okay, I
Everything's
got you.
happening really quickly right now.
Of course, and you passed out in front of your children.
Yes.
And listen, if you hear me laughing, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just laughing how barbaric the situation got.
Okay, so we're an hour, 45 minutes from the border, you know, where we are. And so the ambulance comes from the Rosarita Hospital. We get him in the back of that ambulance. We get to the Rosarita Hospital, and by that time, the other dads had gotten mine and Beck's passport because we knew we were going back to the States immediately. Like, there was no negotiating
No doubt.
what was happening here. And so Westy called my wife, who was in Los Angeles. She wasn't with us. And he basically just said, start driving to San Diego right now, you know? And she was like, what do you mean? And she's like, Beck had an accident. And at that point, she thought it was a surfing accident. Cause that's
Right,
what we were
right.
there
She
to
doesn't
do.
know the details.
So anyway, she grabbed a bunch of shit, got in her car, and started driving to L.A. And we made it to the Rosarita Hospital, and I get there, and there's this, you know, bigger Mexican fellow behind the reception desk. And first of all, it's like a veterinary's office. It's not a hospital.
Right. It's
okay?
scary,
It's
right?
a little, you know, there's cats walking around, you know, that kind of thing. So
Chickens running down the hall.
So the
Oh, there's a goat.
EMT is talking to this guy behind the reception desk who's eating his lunch. And they're just kind of having a casual conversation. And I'm like, where's the doctor? You know? And the EMT's like, that's the doctor.
Oh, Lord.
So he like finished his lunch and washed up. And I was at this point extremely skeptical. They put him on a hospital bed, which had a sweat stain
Lord.
and hair
Oh,
from
come
the
on.
last person
Oh,
that was there.
Jesus.
I swear to God, dude. I'm looking at it, and my son's there, and this is when they cut his
Pants.
They cut his pants off. You know.
Right.
Oh, actually, they think they did that. I think when the EMTs came from
Right.
Rosarita Hospital, that's when I saw his wound for the first time.
Okay.
Because
Break
they cut
that down.
They cut his sweatpants off, and so he had a laceration from his knee to his foot, and all I could see was muscle and his leg bone, because the skin had gone back, you know, around the other side, and
my
I'm
goodness.
I flip. That's when I fucking lost, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
You're in Mexico. Your
Yeah.
kid is bleeding. You putting a tourniquet. You pass out. You're
Yeah.
in the ambulance. You're in some third world country
Yeah.
type of hospital.
Yeah.
A lesser man would have crumbled, man. That's
But
some
listen,
serious
so
stuff.
so this is just the beginning, man. It gets kind of crazy after this.
Oh man.
So the guys ends up being super cool. Okay, like you know, you can't judge people. You never know who's going to be your little saint, and you never know
True.
who's
True
going to
that.
step up to the plate. So this guy very casually washed up, you know, put his gloves on, looked at the wound, right? Got a hypodermic needle with he said it was Novocaine, you know, which I know what it is.
Yeah.
And he, you know, get like 8 times right in the wound, just
Right in the meat.
right in the meat, dude. Yeah, and I'm looking at it, and Beck's not looking, but I watched the whole thing. And so I'm like, that's good, because then if the pain starts coming, then Novocaine. So then he took this saline, and it was new bottles of saline, and he rinsed all the sand and shit out of there.
Right.
Then he wrapped it up real tight. And by that time, the Red Cross ambulance came to take us to the border. Okay? Still, the Mexican Red Cross.
Right.
You know, you always give Red Cross at the toll booths and all that stuff. People with the things.
But they wouldn't go, I guess out of their jurisdiction. They get to the border. They can't go
They have
up to
come-
Sandy.
No, they're coming back.
They're dropping the patient off at the border.
Yeah.
Get out of my country. Sorry, my.
They know there's another ambulance waiting.
Oh, okay. This is all
Yeah,
planned.
yeah. Oh, yeah. This
I got you.
happens.
I didn't know that was the thing.
Now, but there's some crazy shit that goes on, because so the guy at the Rosarita Hospital wraps Beck up real nice, you know, and as best he could. We get him inside the first of all, I hand him my credit card, and they ring off 300 or something bucks, whatever. We get inside the Red Cross ambulance, and we start heading. I got my passport and Beck's passport, and that's it, and a couple bottles of water. And I can't sit in the back with him. I have to sit in the front. It's their legal, whatever it is. We get to Tijuana, and we get into the Colonel Colonial Federal lane, which is the fast pass lane. If you've been a tourist there recently,
Okay.
they have these things called fast passes. Like if you go get a massage down there, you get a fast pass and you go in this lane that you skip about an hour of the bullshit at the border.
Really?
Yes.
For a massage?
Yes. And they're doing that so that you patronize the businesses down there.
Oh, I
and-
got you.
Yeah, it's a good thing. However, that fast pass lane, that's the emergency lane. Okay? So it's still 45 minutes. It's not you're skipping an hour, but you're still there. So we pulled up there in the ambulance and we waited in line at the border for 45 minutes.
Stop and go traffic.
While
getting across
my
the border.
son was bleeding out in the back, and they're selling me churros and plastic monkeys, bro. I swear to God,
Do
dude.
they still have chiclets?
Yeah, I mean, the churros were delicious. I mean, at that moment, the churro, I'm like, look, Beck, you can't have this, but this is fucking good, man.
And you and the guy up front are like splitting the chair. That's so
So
funny.
anyway, 45 minutes go by. I finally see an American Border Patrol, right? They hang out about 15 yards in, a little pre-screen. They look around. So I wave him down, and he comes over, and I'm like, look, my son had a horrible accident in the back. There's an ambulance waiting for us on the other side. You know, can we expedite these 10 cars that are left, please? And he's like, give me your passport. So he took the passport up, and nothing went any faster, okay? I got there, and then when I got there, then he looked at my shit, you know, and did the whole
kidding.
thing. But you have to understand that people try everything to get across the border.
Sure.
And this may be one of those things. I don't
Right,
I
right.
wasn't thinking that at the time. All I was thinking is I got to get my son to the fucking hospital.
I understand that, but my question to you right now is, how was your communication skills? Was your volume loud to your?
I was trying to be as calm as possible, but I imagine you could see the panic on my face.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Were you yelling at anybody? Was it like there's no yelling?
No. Beck was calm. I was calm.
Right.
At that, we stayed calm the whole time. You know, except that moment where I passed out right in front of him for a second.
Yeah.
It was pretty calm. He was really calm. Like, I got to give it to the kid. And let me back up a second, because, you know, he went over a sand dune that on the other side was shaped like a V into the peak of
So
the
he
dune.
landed on air.
So he went and just went straight down. The bike fell on top of him.
Oh, man.
And I don't know how, but he got back on his bike and rode that fucking thing 200 yards back to where I was. Okay?
Pure adrenaline.
Dude, he just beasted it through it, you know?
He
Like,
manned up and said, I got to get back to the mothership. I don't care if I'm missing a leg.
that kid has got a 17th gear. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. He does.
Yeah.
He's had that all his life, man. He came out that way.
Fuck. And so anyway, so here we are at the border. We get across the border. There's another ambulance waiting. And a couple of funny things happen. One is this lady's last name her name was Becca. Okay? So the woman who was treating Beck, her name was Becca.
Awesome.
Okay. And so she goes, I just want to see what we're looking at. I want to make sure the hospital in Rosarita did the right thing, because
Yeah, double check the work,
you know,
people.
and I didn't think of it at the time, but I also imagine she was thinking, I want to make sure they're not smuggling any drugs in a wound of some sort. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it could be a fake
Honest-
wrap. It
honestly,
could be, yeah.
all that.
Sure.
So she unwraps it, and
And you had 2 8-balls up your sphincter, right?
Shit.
So that was a good yes. I like what you were thinking.
Yeah, it was a whole diversion tactic.
That's good, man.
That is. Yeah, you know what? You learn something new every night, North Carolina.
So they undo the thing.
So she undoes the thing.
Does he ever get to see his own
He
injury?
hasn't quite looked at it yet. Although he's gotten a glimpse of it. He's told me, like, in the Rosarita Hospital, he got a nice, good glimpse at it. He's like, I want to look at it, and he did. And so the lady, she unwraps it in the back of the ambulance at the border, and then I see her look up at me, and I'm like, and she goes, okay, we have to move a little quicker. And then she wrapped it up real quick, and she got my passports back, and she was like, Mr. Adler, you can ride in the back, you know. So I rode in the back with him, and that between the Rosarita Hospital and the border, I called Sharp Hospital, which was in Chula Vista. Someone said call Sharp Hospital. It's
And Chula
right
Vista
across
is
the
like
board.
probably the quickest north town of the border of
So
Tijuana.
I get this.
Mexico?
I get the admissions woman on from Sharp. Her name is Jackie, and I want to say her name
Say it.
because she told me, "Don't take him here. Take him across the street to the Radies Children's Hospital. They will
Properly take care.
properly take care of your son."
Nice tip. Thank you.
And so, I call, I'm so thankful for that woman, and a couple other people along the way. But anyway, so we get to Radies Children's Hospital. It's probably 30 minutes from the border. No, not even, like 15.
Okay. And what is he crying in pain?
He's not crying in pain. He's calm.
Right. Is there a shock value there? So denying the pain?
I'm sure there's a shock value. Plus, he was shot up with a lot of Novocaine.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He was shot up. Yeah.
So we're admitted to the trauma center immediately. They know we're coming at Rady's Children's Hospital. And he goes into the trauma room. There's 2 trauma rooms. And he goes into one of them, and like 10 people go in there. And that's when they unwrap the thing, and the dude was, the surgeon was like, "Mr. Adler, if you want to take a picture of this right now, now's the time."
Oh my God.
So I said, "Okay, I'll take one picture," and I did. Boom. And then the doors closed.
Well, you know something that's
then the doors closed.
Gotcha.
And then my wife came.
Perfect
You
timing.
want to tease this? I don't know.
No, we're gonna do no.
We're
this
gonna
is-
keep going.
Yes, yes. And here's what's a big thing is when you go in and a doctor is taking care of you, then all of a sudden he starts calling for other doctors. And then all of a sudden there's a team of 5 going behind closed doors. Because, normally if it's a regular injury, one doctor would be like, "No, guys, you guys go watch the game in the back. I got this."
Yeah, but this was also a children's hospital, so they had child sort of psychologist people on staff,
Right.
who are distracting my son. Like the second they found out he was a surfer, they're like, they looked him up and found his video and was playing it with him with all of them.
Whoa,
That's quick. You know what I
right.
mean? So while the
Smart.
doctors were figuring out what the fuck to do with his leg, they were distracting him with an iPad and his own.
And were they saying, "Look, this is something you'll never do again"?
Yeah. They're like, "You'll be lucky to do this again, kid.
Yeah, you remember yesterday when you were surfing?
You used to be awesome."
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool, and they were just all super cool people and models. By the way, all the nurses were models.
Hotties?
Yeah, and I made
Chula
some-
Vista? There's no hotties in Chula Vista.
dude, they went to the modeling nursing something or other
Ooh.
school.
It reminds me of a video I rented accidentally 10 times.
So we had to wait like an hour or 2 hours before he could go into surgery because he had drank some water in the ambulance and they needed to put him out. And they told us it will probably be 2 or 3 surgeries. We may have to do a skin graft. We probably can't sew it up because there's way too much swelling, all that shit. So they finally took him up around 9 o'clock. We walked up with him and said goodbye. And that's when I lost my shit. Like I was calm the whole time. First of all, there's blood all over me. Like I looked like I was a serial killer.
Oh, my gosh.
Walking around the hospital. And then my wife and I are waiting, and just the immense guilt, that came over me was like unbelievable.
Because the guilt that you originally gave the green light to go on these,
Yeah. And to back up a few steps, my son is an amazing surfer. And he's
is
one of the
indeed.
best 13-year-olds in the world.
Yeah.
And so, the kid had a lot of momentum, and, all that came to a grinding halt, when that happened.
Okay, you're thinking even outside. I wasn't even thinking outside the box. I thought you were guilty just because you put him on the ATV.
But I know what was going to hurt Beck the most, which was not being able to compete
Not be able to
and
compete.
surf and all that.
Right.
And finish his surfing season.
Haven't even got my head wrapped around
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sector of the story. Damn.
Yeah.
But you know something? I'm thinking what doesn't kill you is going to make you stronger as long as he's got that leg. And apparently he's going to have it, even though it's going to take some time. But I think he's going to come back stronger than
There's
ever.
a lot more. I mean, a lot more.
Well, I didn't want to tell it, but I saw the photo.
Yeah, I'm not going to show the photo.
No,
but
no,
I
no,
will.
you're not.
I will say this. So the next day after surgery, his back started hurting. So they did a CT, and he's got a cracked vertebrae and 2 compressed vertebrae.
Oh, man.
So he's in a back brace as well. He's in a wheelchair, back brace. His leg is all fucking. So here's another part of this story, okay?
Break it down.
His little roommate, okay, I don't want to say his name or anything like that, okay? But he's an 8-year-old kid, and he either hit somebody on a bike or was hit by a bike in a car. Somebody in a car either hit him or he hit somebody in a car. I couldn't figure that part out. All I know is that his uber religious parents kept blaming him for the accident.
Oh,
and my wife and I are just like, what the fuck's going on over there? You need to be more careful, and next time you gotta blah blah blah. And
The
I
kid's
was
in
like,
the hospital.
what? I was like, all right. So I knew Beck was gonna get discharged Thursday late afternoon, early evening. So I had to go back to Mexico because my other son's still there, my truck's there, everything's there. So I figured I'd take an Uber to the border, get a cab from Tijuana back to where we were staying for whatever ungodly price someone was going to charge me. I didn't care. And right before I left, I turned to that little kid. His mom was there. And I'm like, I'll just say his name was Kevin. I'm like, Kevin, you get right back on that bike and you ride as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I said, you are 8 years old and you're allowed to ride a bike. Okay? It is not your fault. Whatever happened, you get right back on that bike and you haul ass. And his mom was like, and he was like, and I was like, boom. Drop the mic.
Yeah,
I walked out.
yeah.
Okay.
My work is done.
Yeah. And then my luck kind of changed at that moment because I called the Uber driver, right?
Yeah.
This guy pulls up and his name is Michael. And I tell him the story, what's going on. And he goes, well, I live in Rosarito, so I'll just take you right to where you're going.
There we go. Little
And
ding
I was
ding, little
like,
kindness.
Oh my God. So the kid was an animator. He had dual citizenship. His girlfriend was about to have a baby. They moved back to Rosarito to live by the beach for a third of the price of living in San Diego.
Sure.
He has a Century Pass, which means you're pre-screened and you can go back and forth with no line.
Oh my
It
God.
costs a lot of money.
But
And
he's got that pass.
It's key to the rest of the story, so hold on to that for a second.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm foreshadowing a bit.
Love it.
Okay, so we have a wonderful conversation. I get back. There's nobody there. I immediately put my wetsuit on. I grab my board.
Meaning you get back and no one's there, meaning the place
All
you're
the
staying.
kids are gone. The parents are gone. Nobody's there. The whole place is empty. So I go out for a surf, and there's like 3 guys out. No one says a word for an hour and a half. I catch like 6 awesome waves, and I just like feel a little cleansed. And, you know, we all have dinner that night. We have a surf in the morning, and then we all pack up to leave and go back to the United States. And I have a fast pass because the place we stayed gave 1 fast pass out, and I got it. So I get lost in TJ trying to find the fast pass lane, and I end up in the Century Pass lane, okay, where you're supposed to be pre-screened and you pay a lot of money to go back and forth. So I get to the front,
Oh, no.
and the guy's like, hey, you have a Century Pass. I'm like, no, I have a fast pass. We got lost in Tijuana, and we got in the wrong lane. He's like, is this your first time doing this? Because if it's not, it's $5,000.
It's my first time, officer.
And I said, it's
Federale.
my first time. He goes, well, we'll know that because if you did come by, we marked that down and we know who's come by the first time. So thank goodness it was my first time. So,
Right.
so he says, you still have to go into secondary and get your car searched. Okay. So I go, okay, whatever. So we go into secondary. We're sitting there. And the guy asked me a bunch of questions and blah, blah, blah. And then he walks to the back to search the truck. And
Is that when you pulled the
as soon as he clicks the lever, it hits in my head. There's blood everywhere back there. And this was
what old clothes from the towels from the injury?
my son was in the right. That was where his leg was, dude.
Oh my God.
So, and this was right after the Brussels terrorist incident. So everyone's on high alert. Okay. So I get out of the truck and walk around, and as soon as I walk around, the bed comes down, and then I see that look in the guy's eyes, you know, and I'm like, whoa, 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 okay?
I can explain his.
Before you draw on me, bro, let me just tell you what the fuck's going on here. So I told him the story, and I showed him some pictures, and he's like, okay. But they searched my shit. They brought the dogs, everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they took my oranges.
And your chiclets.
Yeah.
And
So then 5 hours of Easter traffic, and we were back home. And,
oh my God.
And the day my son went into surgery, we put an offer in on a house and it got accepted. You know, not that day we didn't put the offer in. It was like before I left.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden, all that's in my life. Too.
All right. The biggest thing in your life financially is buying a home. All right. So that's the most stressful situation you get yourself into. And then you put on top of like, wow, look at my kid. He looks like he's got, meatloaf coming out of his calf.
I'm telling you, man, it's been a stressful week. But it's, there's some silver lining. He's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's going to probably miss the end of this year and he'll get back into it. You know what I mean? He said he's looking forward to rehab.
Do you know when you showed me that photo, I actually was about to say, yeah, right. Show me the real one. Because it looked something right out of a horror film.
Yes, it did.
It looked like, okay, here's special effects makeup. Make the nastiest injury you can on a leg.
Yeah.
And that's what the photo was.
Yeah, I know. And the stitches are, it's bad.
I didn't know this was, I didn't see
No,
the
I
stitches.
know. I'm just telling you.
Oh, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe they pulled that skin together with when it was such a big gap.
I just think he's such a little guy, like he's a small kid. And
Yeah.
so his calf isn't that big. So
Right, no.
I think they were able to, maneuver it over. I don't know that.
Did you tell me they took a vein out?
Well, the saphenous vein was cut and something went into his calf muscle almost to the other side because there was a lot of damage sort of internally there. So he's got a lot to do,
What'd you learn from this?
I learned that I'm super lucky that my son's not paralyzed or dead. I mean, that's the number one thing. B, be a little more careful in Mexico with, the extracurriculars, which I already knew, and every bone in my body said, don't let him do this. But, fuck. And you know what? I'm so thankful for a couple people. One, my wife, because she didn't blame me ever.
Yeah.
She said if I was there, he would have gone too. So it's okay. And I needed that.
Yep.
I didn't need any more guilt than I already had. And then all those people at the Rady Children's Hospital and the drivers of all these medical people, like, just fucking knocked it out of the park, man.
It had to make you feel good.
Yeah. So his orthopedic pediatrician's name, her last name is Beck.
Crazy.
I know, weird stuff. Weird.
You got out alive. Let me ask you this.
Yeah. Did I believe in God after it?
No, I'm not going to ask you
a little
that.
bit more than I did before.
Yeah. Now, what's in the future with your fathering Beck? Now, I think, are you subconsciously
I'm gonna release him. Yeah, I'm not gonna father him anymore.
Yeah, we're making up the papers now.
He's on IR.
But I'm afraid that maybe you're going to start getting too protective. Maybe pamper him, cover too much.
No. Like he said, here's what Beck said after it was all said and done. He said, look, I'm not scared to ride motorcycles. I'm just going to ride them in Mexico.
Right. All right.
And, maybe that's the thing to do or not. I don't know. There's a lot of people who ride motorcycles in Mexico. The problem is with this particular place is, A, people steal the fences and tires. And B, they don't make you wear a helmet. And C, a lot of people get drunk in Rosarito and come and ride these things because all the horror stories came out during the whole ordeal. My cousin died there. Oh, my brother got his nose splattered. Oh, he hit someone going up a dune who was coming up the other side.
Yeah, but they're not going to have that up on the billboard.
No, there's no billboard. But the thing is this place is like,
it's a risky move, bro.
You gotta, I feel like if this is my opportunity to tell people, if you're going down to Baja, be careful. Be careful on those dunes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, of course. That's the message. Be careful putting a kid in that. Man, I don't know, dude. When you were telling me this story, when you were breaking it down the other day, and then I eventually said goodbye to you, and I was thinking about that. Like, wow, how many freaking moving parts you had in between the chaos and the traffic jam, to you passing out, to you visualizing your son on the bike coming to you with the horror in his face, and all. There's a lot of crazy shit going on.
Yeah, and all those images, like they, and by the way, one of the kids threw up. He got to look at the wound. Like, it was mayhem. Bro.
It knocked the wind out of me.
Now, the Mexican guys that were at the ATV place, they were just like, whatever.
Oh,
and then
happens every day, amigo.
But I don't know, man. It was for me, it was a giant emergency, and maybe I should have had a helicopter, but who knew how to begin to get that done,
Yeah. You got to think how much, 5,000, 10,000
Yeah.
to get him, what,
Medevaced out of there or
20
whatever.
kilometers?
Yeah. I don't know. I think we did the best we could, and it was an experience and, a learning one.
So now you're moving to a whole different area. You bought a house on top of a hill. Ladies and gentlemen, it's called Topanga. Topanga is a beautiful
Hippie town.
Yeah, I was about to say semi-hippie-ish,
Yeah.
but a lot of people came in there with the money and bought, so it's not as hippie-ish as it was like 15, 20 years ago. But you're on top of a hill with a pool in the backyard.
Yeah, I'm so happy. My wife's really happy.
That's a big move, brother.
It's a big move. It's a little bit of isolation, but there's no telephone wires up there. I'm not looking at one telephone wire.
There's some mountain goats and shit like that, man. You're going to see some
there's
wildlife.
some
There's going to be
mountain
cougars.
snakes. Yeah,
There's coyotes and shit.
yeah, man. They'll take my dog.
You can't leave your dog out.
You cannot leave your dog out, Alex. There's coyotes will just snatch him right up.
Or a hawk.
Yeah.
But you know what you're going to be having a lot more of? You're gonna have-
Babies.
No, you're going to have more
Thank God.
get-togethers. You're going to have more barbecues, more shit like that because you got the pool. And plus,
Yeah.
you're going to want people to come visit.
Well,
And there's
that's the
gotta be an
thing. We're
incentive.
going to turn the garage into a big playroom with the ping pong table, bumper pool. That's what
Right.
I want to get, a bumper
Bumper
pool table.
pool. Yep.
Ping pong table, some couches, a nice, for the teen get kids to hang out. And then they got the pool in the back.
Right.
And, that's the thing. You're a bit isolated up there, but we do spend most of our time at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So the drive up and the drive back. And my wife, when she first went up there, she went on the other side of the hill and realized that 7 minutes away was a Starbucks. She was happy.
Oh, the other direction.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. What do you what's on the agenda now, dude? What's in the future?
What's on your agenda?
I'll tell you what's on my agenda.
You've been working hard.
Yeah, I'm over at the NFL shooting camera.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And you know what they do? They go to the guy that always says yes. When the NFL calls, and it's the NFL, I don't say hello. I just say yes.
Yeah, because you're
Okay.
going to get paid.
Even though sometimes it's a pain in the ass, and there's a lot of commotion, a lot of moving parts. But I'm the nice guy. Sure, anytime.
And it's always a 3 a.m.er.
Not always. No, there's shows that go normal times, but I got to be. I'm going in tonight.
You are?
Yeah, I'm working tonight.
Are you going to kick me out of here? I'm
gonna
going to kick myself out of here in a minute. Oh, my God. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Is it really?
Holy crap. How long have we been going? 5 hours?
Yeah. Hey, you guys, if you're tuning in, what happened was we just needed some dad talk. We just needed Gary and I and we got cousin Alex. But sometimes you just got to say, okay, let's not get a guest. Let's just come back to where we're from, how this whole thing started. Let's talk about the chaos that was in your week last week. Let's talk about just the day-to-day operations of being a good guy. I think that's what the point was. Gary, you never gave up being a good guy. Some guy could have been a mother. You know what I'm talking about. But you kept your composure.
You can't do that.
Which is impressive.
And I was trying to drop cash wherever I left. Like for the Red Cross guys, I dropped a bunch of cash.
Yeah.
The Rosarita Hospital, I dropped a bunch of cash. Like, just thank you. And I wish I could have gone back there to say thank you to everybody, but that's an impossibility.
You could send them something?
I'm going to send them my love right now.
There you go. All right. So what do you say? Do we put a bow? There's so many things. There's when you sit down, like, oh my God, I got so much stuff on my mind.
Do we have anything coming up we need to talk about? We got anything at the lady? Any guests coming up we need to talk about?
Yeah, we've got some things happening.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if anybody out there, I don't know how old these people are watching, listening. We know our demographics.
We know the 2% in Mozambique is between the ages of 28 and 35.
Perfect. Those two people love us. But I'm saying I grew up, I was not a,
That's the truth, Alex.
There was some summertime stuff in between, the diving and the swimming on the swim, and then the days you had a couple hours early afternoon, and I would sit and watch soap operas.
Oh, that's right. You liked your stories.
I loved some soap operas, and all my children with Jenny, okay?
Yeah.
Well, it just so happens I know somebody that knows her. Then we've had some lunches together. We've chatted. We're now friends. And at one time, she was by far the biggest soap opera star in the world.
Yeah.
She's coming in the Garage of Love. I knew you would.
Do you want to say her name?
No. I'm going to
Okay.
surprise you. All right?
Sounds good.
Kim Delaney. Look her up. Kim Delaney. She's such a great woman, and she was soap opera. And me and my
She was huge.
yeah, you remember that?
Hell yeah, dude. I had
Did
a
you
crush
remember?
on Kim Delaney.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I do. Everyone, when I went to college, everyone watched General Hospital, and all my
That was
children.
Luke and Laura.
Yeah, and all my children too. Those were the diehards.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
You know, Demi Moore came out of one of those freaking soap operas.
I heard, and so did what's his name?
Yeah, good old what's
I
his
don't
name?
know.
The black dude.
Yeah, that guy. Denzel Washington.
All right, you guys, let's round third, head for home. Oh, the guy on the couch is a friend of ours, Gary. He's
Yeah.
got a couple punks that my kids and Gary's
Probably
Adler's
gotten
kids-
hurt, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah,
Everybody's
baseball
got-
player up at North, actually Venice High.
Yeah,
And what's your youngest punk doing?
skateboarding.
Skating. How's his attitude? Awesome.
That's good.
What's his hairdo look like? Is it long?
Longer. He's got toe heads.
Yeah, yeah. He's also got a hot wife too.
Does
Oh,
he?
did I say that out
I
loud?
didn't notice.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, look at the time. We got to go. Ladies and gentlemen, ChunkyB.tv. Please keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for letting us blow some steam
Yeah,
off.
thanks for letting me get that off my chest.
Yeah,
Chunk.
I
appreciate it.
feel, a little rejuvenated. I got a little
Yeah,
pep
I
in my
feel
step.
good. I got to exhale a little bit.
And you people from WKRP in Raleigh, tell us what you want. Find our website. Message me. Let's start, dancing before we get into bed. Let's have dinner and a movie before we start smacking each other's asses. We're here for you. We want to dive into the sack. Is that?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right, let's
I
dive.
want to make love to the community of Raleigh, North Carolina.
The sack?
The sack.
You just said you want to dive into the sack.
I want to dive into the. What did I say? The community that is.
The sack.
No. Raleigh. Seriously. I want to fondle your sack. Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, I'll
I'm sorry. It's a great day because we're all alive and we're grateful that we get the chance to,
fondle our sacks.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
You
I'm
got-
fondling mine
You got
right
3
now.
testicles, don't you?
Well, this,
Was it your nickname, Trinad, the Barbarian? Ladies and gentlemen, we have lost all
let's end on
control.
a horrible joke.
Just dial into us, please, please, please. We like you.
Like us. Like
Yeah.
us back.
Right on. All right, good.